Hello everyone. Today we are going to have the discussion on the last two stanzas of the poem How to Tell Wild Animals written by Caroline Wells. The first four stanzas we have discussed earlier. In this poem, the poet is describing different ways to identify or recognize wild animals, and the poet is giving many humorous funny ways to identify wild animals. In the first four stanzas, we have seen the poet describing the ways to identify an Asian lion, a Bengal tiger, a leopard, and a bear. And in the fifth stanza, the poet is telling, see the poem, though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus. The crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with the merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. In this stanza, the poet is telling someone who is new in the field of recognizing wild animals. He may confuse between a hyena and a crocodile. See the lines. Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus. Beast of prey, beast of prey. See, beast of prey. What is the meaning of beast of prey? Beast of prey means animals that hunt other animals for their food. Beast of prey. And two more words are there, a novice and nonplus. Novice means someone who is new in a job, or someone who is newly attempting something or new in an attempt. And nonplus here means confused. The poet is telling someone who is new in the field of recognizing or identifying wild animals, he may get confused between a hyena and a crocodile because he is new in his job. And the poet is telling an easy way to identify a crocodile and a hyena. If the hyena is smiling while it is eating its prey, then we can identify that it is a hyena. And if the crocodile is crying, if that animal is crying while it is having its food or while it is killing its prey, we can easily identify that it's a crocodile. There is a famous saying about crocodile tears. You can remember that no, only a crocodile can cry while killing someone. We cannot identify the actual motive of the crocodile from his appearance. Same cases with hyena also. We cannot identify whether the hyena is going to kill us or not, because its face is always like always happy, or always like it appears always like a smiling. Okay, that is a funny way of identifying crocodile or a hyena. See, moving to the last stanza, even the poet is describing ways to identify a chameleon. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it is a chameleon you see. The poet is telling the chameleon is a small lizard-like animal, and he doesn't have ears and he doesn't have wings of wings. He does not have wings also. But if you observe on a tree, or if you look at a tree, it may appear nothing is on the tree, then it is sure that a chameleon will be there on the tree. While the chameleon has the quality of changing its color according to the background in which he is sitting, in which it is sitting. So the poet is telling we can identify, or we can be sure that a chameleon is there on a tree if we when we look at the tree, there will not be anything. We cannot see anything on the bark of the tree. It is sure that a chameleon will be there, because it might have changed its color suitable to the bark of the tree. That is the two. That is the summary of the two stanzas. And here we have learned the ways, or we have discussed the poet's ways of recognizing wild animals, and also now we are going to the poetic devices in detail. As we have already said that the poem is written in a rhyme scheme and with a strong rhythm also. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, A, B, C, C. And the poet has used many poetic devices in the poem. The first one is poetic license. Poetic license, and we already discussed that in the last class, where the in the first stanza where the poet has used dyin instead of dying to rhyme that word, to rhyme with lion. Dying, instead of dying, the poet has used dying to rhyme with the word lion. That is the use of the freedom of the poet to change the spelling of the word in a poem is called poetic license. Okay, and also the poet has used that freedom in the third and also in the last stanza. Also in the third stanza he has changed the spelling of she has changed the spelling of LEAPT into LEPT and LEAP into LAP again. And for it, it, he has only used the letter T, and in the last answer also, instead of it, he has used only T. These are the use of poetic license. And also we can see many examples of alliteration. As you already knew what is alliteration, the repetition of the same consonant sounds at the beginning of adjacent word is called alliteration. Here we can see a lot of examples for alliteration. Roaming round, again hugs, hard, then novice, non plus. All these words are, many more examples are there. If you look for it, you can find many more examples for alliteration. And then one more poetic device we discussed that day, it is inversion. Inversion in the third line, we can see a clear example of inversion. The poet has changed the word order of a sentence in order to in order to continue the rhythm, in order to maintain the rhythm of the poem. See the and if there should to you advance, that the words of that sentence is interchanged in order to keep the rhythm of the poem. Okay, and also see one more example is there for inversion. Okay, there whose hide with sports is peppered. Whose hide with sports is peppered. Third stanza, second line. His hide is spotted, is peppered with sports. That is the right order. You know that his hide is peppered with sports. That is the right order. But the poet has changed it as whose hide with sports is peppered. That is the clear use of inversion. And also you can see many examples of assonance. You know what is assonance? Assonance is the repetition of same vowel sound in adjacent words. We can see many examples like if sometime when I roaming round, I sound is repeated, and many examples. If you go through all the lines, you will get many examples. So that is all about the poem. We have learned about how to tell wild animals. I already said that the meaning of the word tell here is to identify or to recognize. So this is remember that this is a humorous poem written by Caroline Wells, and try to enjoy this poem in the right way and try to appreciate the poem. Thank you.